In this video, we'll cover all you need to know before traveling to Prague, including where are all the major attractions, the best time to visit, where to stay and for how long, public transportation, how much things cost, the best apps to use, the best views of the city, and other practical information. We want to thank Septics, a #1 choice for travel adapters on Amazon, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications, and share your own experience and recommendations or ask a question in the comments below. We've also created a mobile-friendly PDF document covering all the things in this video, plus the top 20 things to do in Prague, including maps, links, opening hours, and more. Here are 11 essential tips to know before you visit Prague. Number 11. The map of Prague. Prague is the capital and the largest city in the Czech Republic and lies on both banks of the Vltava River. For orientation, let's start with the historic Charles Bridge from the 14th century. Close to the bridge you will find the Clementinum complex with an impressive Baroque library and a famous astronomical tower. Old Town Square is home to Old Town Hall with the famous astronomical clock, Prague Meridian, Church of Our Lady Before Tin, and other attractions. If you continue towards the east, you will find the Powder Tower, one of the original city gates that separates the old town from the new town, and Manifesto Market Florence, an industrial chic dining and drinking hub. The Jewish Quarter is home to Old Jewish Cemetery, Jewish Museum, synagogues, Memorial Kafka sculpture, and other exciting attractions. Don't miss Speculum Alchemy Underground Laboratory from the 16th century if you're in the neighborhood. Located near the main train station is Wenceslas Square, or Václavské náměstí, home to National Museum and the site of important public events. Don't miss the statue of Franz Kafka in front of the OC Quadrio Shopping Center. And don't forget to also visit the famous architectural jewel Dancing House, which was declared one of the most prominent buildings of the 1990s. If you continue south, you will find the Botanical Garden and Vyšehrad, a historic fort from 11th century with beautiful cemetery and a medieval basilica situated on the southern part of the city. If you cross one of many beautiful bridges, you will enter Malá Strana, or Little Side District, one of Prague's most historic neighborhoods, with Wallenstein Palace, many impressive gardens, and other notable attractions. If you continue north, there is the largest ancient castle in the world, Prague Castle, a castle complex from the 9th century with impressive Golden Lane, St. Vitus Cathedral, and other impressive attractions. Don't miss Hradčany Square, full of remarkable places and houses. Strachau Monastery with the library is located just below Petrin Hill, and Petrin Lookout Tower, built in 1891, offers fantastic views of the city. And don't forget to visit the Prague Zoo, which is said to be one of the best in Europe. All the attractions you see here and many additional ones are covered in our travel guide, which also comes with a dedicated Google Maps. Václav Havel Airport is located about 10 miles or 16 kilometers from the city center. To get a better sense of the distance, a 1 mile or 1.6 kilometer walk from Prague Castle to Old Town Square takes about 20 minutes. It takes approximately the same amount of time if you combine walking and public transport. It takes about 40 minutes if you walk from Old Town to Vyšehrad, or 20 minutes if you combine walking and public transport. Number 10. Weather and climate. Prague has a humid continental climate, which means dry and cold winters and wet and hot summers. Temperatures in winter are generally right below or around freezing and ranging between 30 and 41 degrees Fahrenheit or -1 and 5 degrees Celsius. There's not a lot of sunshine and snow is common, but there's usually not a lot of it at once. In the spring, the weather is unstable and often changes from relatively mild and pleasant to cold. The temperatures range between 35 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 and 20 degrees Celsius. The weather usually stabilizes in May. Summer is nice and warm with little rain, although random thunderstorms can occur. Temperatures range between 57 and 78 degrees Fahrenheit or 14 and 26 degrees Celsius. Weather in the fall is still pleasant in September and part of October, but it then quickly becomes colder, rainy and sometimes snowy starting with November. Temperatures range between 37 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 3 and 20 degrees Celsius. Of course, these are all just averages. The weather and temperature can be different when you visit, so remember to always check the weather forecast before you travel. Number 9. Best time to visit. The best time to visit Prague is in May and June in the spring, and September and October in the fall, when the weather is warm and stable and the summer tourist crowds are gone and prices drop. Summer gets a lot of tourists and higher prices, but the weather is still pleasant. The cheapest time to visit Prague is in the winter, when there are less tourists and the prices of accommodation are lower. However, be prepared for some cold weather, often below freezing. And know that the days will be shorter and you will have less time during the day. Also, Prague is a very popular tourist destination and crowds are common even in low season. Anyway, you'll probably have a great time regardless of the season, since Prague is full of amazing attractions and things you can do all year long and regardless of how cold it is. And how can you figure out the best days and hours to see the attractions? Just check Google to see how crowded a specific location is at a particular time of day. Of course, we recommend going early during the week and or in the morning. Many travelers stay in Prague for 3 days to see its main attractions and get the full experience. If you want to be a little bit more relaxed, you can stay an extra day or 2. Number 8. Where to stay and prices of accommodation. If this is your first time in Prague, choose to stay in the Old Town, where you'll have many of the best sites, bars and restaurants just minutes away. For nightlife, stay in Žižkov, close to the Žižkov TV tower. If you're on a budget, stay in the New Town near Wenceslas Square. Despite being called New Town, the area is actually full of historic buildings. If you're traveling with the family, Malá Strana on the opposite side of Vltava is a good option. A mid-range hotel double room in Prague costs between 1,000 and 3,000 Czech crowns per night. For budget hotels, the average is 1,800. Hostels cost around 400 Czech crowns per night on average. Alternatively, you can rent an Airbnb apartment. You can find a small apartment that sleeps 4 people for under 2,000 Czech crowns per night. Again, these are all just average prices and the ranges for different hotel categories are quite extensive, and in the summer or during the weekends the accommodation can be more expensive. However, with a little research online you can get better deals, especially if your dates are flexible and you don't travel in high season. Check out our video on the best apps for booking your stay. Number 7. Transportation. From and to the airport. To get to and from Václav Havel Airport, Prague, you can use buses, airport shuttle, taxis and car rentals. Check our travel guide for more information. Arriving by train. You can travel to Prague by train from numerous European cities. If you're arriving from outside Czech Republic, you will arrive at the main railway station in the Prague city center. Arriving by car. You can use Google Maps to get the driving directions to Prague. Parking in the city center is limited, especially during the day, so it might be challenging to find a spot. Also, parking in the yellow and blue areas is for locals only. Parking costs between 40 and 60 crowns per hour. In many open space parking places, you can only park for up to 2 hours. You can also park in one of the parking garages for about 30 Czech crowns per hour and from 200 to 700 Czech crowns per day. Alternatively, you can book one of the many hotels in the city that offer parking. Getting around the city. The sites in Prague are mostly close by, so it's easy to get around on foot. Of course, don't forget to bring comfortable shoes. But if you don't feel like walking, you can use the following modes of transport: metro, tram, bus, Uber or taxi, hop-on, hop-off bus, electric scooters, bikes, old car, carriage, riverboat rides, and other forms of transportation. If you use public transport such as metro, tram or a bus, you will pay 24 Czech crowns for 30 minutes, 32 Czech crowns for 90 minutes, 110 Czech crowns for 1-day ticket, and 310 Czech crowns for a 3-day ticket. Don't forget to validate your ticket when you're entering the metro, tram or a bus. Check our travel guide for more information and prices. Number 6. General information. Here are some other things you should know for a pleasant and smooth experience in Prague. Prague is not cheap. While many people traveling to Prague expect low Eastern European prices, Prague is anything but cheap. So remember to always check what the price for what you're paying is in your home currency, which you can easily do on your phone in real time. Drinking water. It is perfectly safe to drink tap water in Prague. There are also some drinking fountains available throughout the city. Toilets. While there are many public toilets in Prague, most of them charge a fee of 10 crowns to use it. If you can't find a public restroom near you, you can use a restroom of a bar or a restaurant, but you will sometimes need to pay there anyway. So make sure always to have sufficient amount of coins ready. If you want to see where public toilets are located, you can use an app on your phone. More about that later. Free Wi-Fi. You can get free Wi-Fi at plenty of outdoor and indoor hotspots all over city, including restaurants, fast food places, cafes, bars and hotels. We'll cover apps for finding free Wi-Fi later. Crowds and lines. Prague is a popular destination, so be prepared to wait in line, especially in the summer months and around big tourist attractions. And there will be tourists there regardless of the season. The same goes for restaurants and other public places. Even if you can't avoid all the crowds, you can do some things to make your trip to Prague a more pleasant experience. You can, for example, avoid peak seasons, avoid traveling during rush hours, get up early in the morning to explore the city without the crowds, explore the suburbs once you've visited the must-see attractions at the city center. Safety and scams. Prague is generally a very safe place for tourists. A few areas are better avoided by night, but they are usually not located near tourist attractions. Typical for all major cities around the world, beware of pickpockets, especially around major attractions and big public squares like the Wenceslas Square. Watch your valuables and use common sense. Also, watch out for scams aimed at tourists, which are unfortunately quite common in Prague. For emergency services, dial 112. Number 5. For international travelers. Travel adapters. If you're coming from outside Europe or from the UK, you will probably need a special European travel adapter to charge your phone and other devices. This is what Czech power plugs look like. We recommend purchasing a travel adapter before traveling to Prague. In fact, it is worth buying a universal travel adapter so you can use it in other countries too. This video is sponsored by Septix, the #1 choice for international travelers to and from the US when it comes to travel adapters. Did you know that the different adapters charge your phone, laptop and other devices at different speeds? Sometimes charging goes nowhere, and when you're traveling you need your device ready to go fast. Septix just released a brand new travel adapter designed to charge your device more quickly. We've used it on our trip to Prague. With multiple attachments, it allows us to charge up to 4 devices at once, which is convenient considering most hotel rooms only have a few outlets. Also, we can just bring the right attachment in a pouch. Visit Septix's user-friendly website to find adapters that fit your needs. We've also made a video about travel adapters and outlet styles around the world. The link is in the description. Currency. Prague uses Czech crowns. 1 Czech crown equals approximately 4 cents US or 4 euro cents. $10 equals approximately 230 Czech crowns, and 10 euros is about 255 Czech crowns. 1000 Czech crowns equals approximately $44 or 40 euros. Some places, like restaurants and bars, also accept euros, the currency used in most other European countries. The exchange rate is not great, of course, and naturally you'll get your change back in Czech crowns. While most hotels, stores and restaurants in the city accept major credit cards like Visa or MasterCard, it is always wise to have some crowns in your wallet, especially if you plan to visit outdoor markets and other similar places. Also, always check the exchange rate before traveling. Language. Language spoken in Prague is Czech. However, many people also speak English, especially at tourist attractions, bars and restaurants, ATMs and money exchange. In the Czech Republic, ATMs, as well as sale terminals in stores, typically ask if you want to be charged in Czech crowns or your home currency. For better exchange rates and smaller fees, always choose to be billed in crowns, and if asked, always decline the conversion. Avoid standalone ATMs, which are popular all over Europe, as you might pay a significant transaction fee on top of already bad exchange rate. Such ATMs also typically only display the option to withdraw large amounts of money, so always check how much you want to withdraw. You can also exchange your foreign cash at currency exchange offices, but commission and exchange rates vary a lot, so always compare the exchange rate on your phone to the board displayed in the exchange office. Prague has been known for exchange offices that charge as much as 40% commission. Access the internet. You can purchase a prepaid SIM card to access the internet on your phone. Some options provided by local carriers are Vodafone, T-Mobile and O2. You can buy a travel plan that includes the internet at any of their stores in Prague. At Vodafone, for example, you can get a 30-day 10 GB plan for 800 Czech crowns. Alternatively, you can consider renting a mobile hotspot. If you are from the US and travel a lot, consider using Google Fi. Number 4. Best apps to use in Prague. Here is a list of useful apps. Mappy.cz, great for exploring Prague on foot. TripAdvisor and Yelp for reviews of restaurants, hotels, museums, tours, etc. With Locals or Eatwit for food and other experiences with local guides. Vider or Get Your Guide for reserving a tour in Prague. XE-Currency or a similar currency converter app to always know how much you're spending. Uber for getting around the city. Lift2Go for getting a taxi. Google Maps or Apple Maps for walking, public transportation, driving, etc. Google Maps also lets you download maps, which is an excellent option if you don't want to use roaming. Seater Squat or Flush for finding public restrooms. Wi-Fi Map or Wi-Fi Finder, which helps you find Wi-Fi throughout Prague. Check out our travel guide for links to download these apps on iOS and Android and for more app suggestions. We also created a video on best travel apps. The link is in the description. Number 3. Food and prices. Prague has plenty of dining options and offers a great variety of international and traditional Czech dining. We suggest using Yelp or TripAdvisor to find nearby places with good reviews. Try to avoid restaurants at or near the major tourist sites, as you'll often get a much higher price-quality ratio at a local place away from the main attractions. An inexpensive to mid-range restaurant meal ranges from 100 to 400 Czech crowns. A 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant is about 700 crowns. A full traditional Czech dish like vepřok knedlo is around 140 Czech crowns, and a traditional soup such as kulajda is about 50 crowns. As for drinks in bars, coffee costs from around 40 Czech crowns, a bottle of water about 40 crowns, a bottle of soda about 45, a pint of beer about 50 crowns, a glass of wine costs about 60 crowns, and a cocktail about 150 Czech crowns. Of course, prices are higher in front of the famous tourist places. And just a quick note, drinking on the streets in Prague is illegal. You can drink and party in a bar or a club, but avoid drinking outside or you might be fined. The typical chimney cake or turdlo will cost you about 60 crowns. There are plenty of great cheap eats in Prague. Check out our travel guide for maps with the best cheap eats. Tipping. Tipping is not mandatory in Prague. However, if you want, you can leave a 5 to 10% tip if you like the service. Number 2. City passes and guided tours. If you want to save on attractions, you can choose from either Prague City Pass or Prague Card. Both options offer free entry to some top attractions, various kinds of discounts, free river cruise, and more. A great way to discover Prague is by a walking tour organized by professional guides who know a great deal about the city's rich history. Some providers even offer free walking tours. However, at the end of the tour, it is recommended to make a donation. See our travel guide for links to websites of free guided tours and other exciting tours of Prague. Another great way to discover the city is by a hop-on, hop-off bus, a boat tour, or an old car tour. There are plenty of options to choose from. Check out Travel Guide for the list of providers and links. Number 1. Best views of the city. You can enjoy amazing views of Prague from one of the following places: Old Town Hall, Charles Bridge, Lesser Town Bridge Tower, Prague Castle, St. Wenceslas Vineyard, the Prospect Letna, National Monument on Vitko, Žižkov Television Tower, Vyšehrad, Petrin Hill Tower, and many others. Check out our travel guide for more places with free and paid amazing views of the city and maps to quickly locate them. Our travel guide is a mobile-friendly PDF document that you can store on your phone for offline use. It covers the top 10 things to do in Prague, plus 10 additional attractions, maps, links, opening hours, and other information that will help make your trip to Prague stress-free. By purchasing our travel guide, you are also helping us sustain this channel, so big thank you for that.